Hello and welcome to FPL Waffle, a review of Game Week 7, a look ahead to Game Week 8. I got 66 points this week, which was much better than last week off the back of the wild card. Flecken yet again failed to keep a clean sheet. He's already looking like a slightly questionable pick. At the back, trended very nicely of 8 points. I was pleased with that. Jared Bowen was my big win, so on the preview video, I don't think it was looking like I was going to bring in Bowen, but on the deadline, Diaz was benched. I heard the news, and I just fancied Bowen at home tips, which was a lovely entry point. They've got an all right run of fixtures coming up, and he really delivered for me goal assist bonus. Happy days. Brian and Burma continues to tick along, and then Saka sort of finally did brilliantly. Um, with his 16 points, he kind of justified me having him in for this decent fixture run that Arsenal have had. Havertz got another goal for me again, which I was really, really pleased with. And Haaland blanks for the second game running. I wouldn't panic, everyone. To be honest, I think you've got to keep the guy. I mean, these fixtures coming up again. He's just like a happy days captain option, isn't he? So I think you've got to keep him. And then my bench. Okay, Face got 6 points on the bench, but I was never really going to play him. I don't think this week. Half tempted to, but I couldn't. I just don't like benching any of these chaps at the back. So yeah, happy enough with that. Looking ahead to this week, so my team is fairly well set up. The defense and back three looks okay. The midfielders have all right enough fixtures overall. I'm sure Havertz and Saka are just precautionary and they'll be fine. My likely transfer this week is going to be Dwight McNeil. So Semenyo, they've got a difficult fixture run now, Bournemouth. Home to Arsenal this week, and there's some absolute stinkers coming up. And so McNeil for the same price. Everton have beautiful fixtures, as you can see from this graphic here. And I just fancy him as a pick. I think he's playing in behind Calvert-Lewin. He's on set pieces. He's just looking really good for his price. So that's kind of the obvious move I'm looking at for this week, barring any sort of injury news towards the deadline. Speaking of sort of recommendations for you guys, as well as Dwight McNeil, Calvert-Lewin, I think he's been unlucky not to score so far. He's been unlucky not to get a penalty in their last game. For that fixture on there, I think it's still worth a punt. Even an Everton defender, I know they've not been great defensively. I think they did get a clean sheet against Newcastle though, and under Dyche, if he's tightening them up now, and the likes of James Tarkowski could be an interesting pick. We know he's a threat from set pieces. Why not if you want to punt? And beyond that, sort of looking at fixture runs starting, particularly from this week. I mean, City, away to Wolves, home Southampton, as I alluded to, of Haaland. If you wanted to take a punt on a Foden, if you think he's going to start, I think he's tempting one to go for. If you don't have, obviously Haaland, I said get Haaland. Rico Lewis, I think still looking like good value for his price, even if he misses the odd game. 4.7, 4.8 mil was a bit of a steal. United haven't really been talked about, so I just don't think any of us can still trust them. But defensively, they've been keeping clean sheets. And Nana, when I had him, was incredible for me, and he's continued to get clean sheets since I've taken him out. If you wanted to take a punt on the Bruno Fernandes, I know a lot of people are hating it, and I wouldn't go there personally, but I can see why you would with this fixture run. He's on pens most likely, set pieces, etc. 90 minutes. If you wanted something a bit different and you wanted a player that's going to like be guaranteed for minutes in your team, a bit like my Jarrod Bowen, like go for it. Forest still not too late to get Chris Wood, judging by those fixtures. Dibbling, if you wanted a cheap midfielder for Southampton, might not be a bad entry point for home to Leicester this week if you needed a player that's cheap in midfield to start for you. And then Spurs, they're the main other ones I think I consider if I was you. Dominic Solanke, I think is kind of a really reliable pick up top for you. Heung-min Son, hopefully, if he's back from injury, is still a nice one, I think, to go for. Brennan Johnson, obviously, he's in the form of his life, so I don't think it's too late to top on him if you want to sort of cash in on perhaps some more goals in this run that he's been going on. Madison's looking like a solid shout, goals, assists, all of that's likely. And I still like Pedro Porro at the back if you don't own him already with the goal threat and clean sheets, which actually Fulham, Spurs have been doing quite well with this season defensively. So yeah, there's a few options to check out. I think I'll leave it there for sort of the game week preview for this week, so the video isn't too long. As usual, if you're just here for the FPL content, tune off now. If you're staying for the Pokemon, another Paradox Rift pack. Can we get anyone decent to write home about for the content? And the answer to that question is a big fat no. And just standard hollows and rares in the pack. So I'll leave it there. I hope you have a good game week. I'm looking forward to be back from the international break. I'm sure you are too. And yeah, have a good game week. Look forward to catching you all on the next one.